Hello and welcome to another Analysis Behind the News, where we provide the perspective that you can use to help save American liberty and independence. We have two action items for you, so please stay tuned. First of all, Happy New Year! 2017 was a lot of fun for constitutionalists. It was the first year in a very long time that there was hope to begin to turn the mighty federal leviathan back towards its constitutional limitations. Shouts of "drain the swamp" could be heard all across the country. And while progress towards this isn't happening as quickly as we would like, there are still hopeful signs that the grip of federal tyranny will lessen. As an organization, we've always advocated that your influence is greater on the local level. We do not rebuild the republic from the top down, but from the bottom up. Influencing your local, county, and state elected officials is key, and a whole lot easier than trying to change or influence the swamp known as Washington. Plus, these folks have sworn an oath to the Constitution. According to Article 6 of that great document, they are to obey the Constitution as the supreme law of the land and all laws made in pursuance thereof, which basically means that laws made within the limitations of the Constitution are to be obeyed, but not those outside of those limitations. And it's that last part that most elected officials are either unaware of or conveniently ignore. For if we, as the electorate, hold these officials accountable, the states would help to be a check on the power of the federal government. How so? The New American, our news magazine, reported in 2010 that when the Constitution was adopted, state governments were given great power, and in particular, state legislatures were given vast power. This was intended to make the language of the Constitution, which preserves the states as sovereign entities, protect that sovereignty in practice. When the 2 senators from each state were chosen by state legislatures, then those senators would not last long if they advocated a surrender of state power to the federal government. Thus, in practice, at least through 1913, the states would choose their 2 U.S. senators to represent their interests on the federal level. Their interests directly reflected those who elected them. So, when Congress would allocate money as constitutionally generated by taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, they could only spend what they brought in, and anything above this would have to be raised by each state. Essentially, they would be sent a bill to pay. How long do you think those senators and state legislators would be in office once they passed along that bill to the electorate in the form of higher taxes? So what happened? That check of power was canceled when the 17th Amendment was ratified. The 17th Amendment provided for the direct election of U.S. senators by the people of each state and not the state legislatures. And with the advent of the Federal Reserve in 1913, spending limits went right out the window. Unfortunately, most Americans are not aware of this. And so when the idea is put forth of amending the Constitution to require the budget be balanced, hey, it sounds like a great idea. However, the amendments are chock full of loopholes, and none of these amendments address the Federal Reserve. But this doesn't stop well-meaning activists from pushing for a balanced budget amendment. And many are pushing the idea of a constitutional convention to propose those amendments. Unfortunately, a convention has the power to rewrite the Constitution and change the ratification process, which happened in 1787. But back then, our founding fathers crafted a brilliant document centered on limiting the government, but not the people. And given what you know about the swamp, the aim of radical special interests, and the mere lip service paid to the Constitution in recent years, do you trust that the Constitution will remain intact and will suddenly be obeyed with the new amendments? We certainly don't. Hard-working, dedicated members of the John Birch Society have stopped dozens of applications for a convention in the state legislatures in 2017. In fact, along with Eagle Forum, we are the main opponent, and we're up against a movement that has millions of dollars and celebrity spokespeople. But the way we are organized and the way we operate and educate, we don't have to match them dollar for dollar, member to member, or resource for resource. Because it takes more money, more resources, and a whole lot more work to obfuscate the truth than it does to reveal it. In regards to revealing the truth, in 2014, The New American published an online article by constitutional lawyer Joe Wolverton. He wrote, "Furthermore, there is no historical proof that a balanced budget amendment would drive Congress back to within its constitutional corral. Even the most conservative estimates indicate that about 80% of expenditures approved by Congress violate the U.S. Constitution. That fact wouldn't change by adding an amendment to the Constitution. Whether these bills spend our national treasure on unconstitutional and undeclared foreign wars, billions sent overseas in the form of foreign aid, expanding the so-called entitlement programs, or redistributing wealth via corporate and individual welfare schemes, none of these outlays is authorized by the Constitution." So let's use that to reflect on the recently passed tax bill that supposedly allows taxpayers to keep more of what they earn. For if the federal government operated within its constitutional confines, there would be no need for an income tax. The federal debt would be quickly paid off with the surplus generated by legitimate money raised through the constitutional means of taxes, duties, imposts, and excises. Americans would keep what they earn, providing a sky's the limit incentive for providing for one's family, church, and community. So for 2018, the Stop a Con-Con project will remain one of our highest priorities. The pro-Con-Con movement has two major players, with the bigger threat coming from those that want to propose a balanced budget amendment called the BBA Task Force. They are only 6 states away from Congress having to call a convention, so we must focus on that threat first. The second group is Convention of States, but they are further back with only 12 states. However, be sure to work on getting state legislators to stop all Con-Con applications, no matter the group. And if your state has passed a pro-Con-Con resolution, then begin the work to get it rescinded. The latter will take some time to accomplish, so start now rather than later. We have quickly added a large number of tools for this action project, so you can try different tools to see what works best for you. We have recently come out with a Stop the Con-Con Action Pack that has nearly a dozen tools, ranging from pamphlets to reprints to DVDs, all for $9.95. It gives you a smattering of some of the best educational tools. Again, try different projects to see what best works for you, then only order those tools next time. To help you be as successful as possible, we have assembled an action guide that takes you step by step through the process of how you can stop the Con-Con in your state, as well as use Article 6 to stop federal tyranny. We're putting the final touches on it now, so it should be ready in a few weeks. It will only be available to JBS members, so be sure to look for it in the member section of our website at jbs.org. Let's make 2018 the year we drain the swamp and save American independence and liberty. As JBS founder Robert Welch used to say, it can and must be done. So, action item number 1. Visit the Stop a Con-Con Action Project page at jbs.org for the latest tools to educate yourself and others, as well as the latest actions to take. And, action item number 2, apply for membership in the John Birch Society if you're not already a member. 2018 will be a memorable one that you definitely will not want to miss. Visit jbs.org now. And if you like what we do, please be sure to share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, we'll see you then, and Happy New Year's to you and yours. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Click here to watch more videos, and click here to visit our site.